I do my own 49ers mailbag. It's 49ersmailbag@gmail.com. You send me your questions. I don't care. You can put them in YouTube. You can hit me on Twitter. My YouTube channel is Rob Schuh, same as my last name, Schuh, which is just German for shoe, Shoe. So if you forget how to spell it, just look up. I had interesting story, random tidbit. Nobody's going to enjoy this but me. But I went to go pick up a prescription for one of my pets yesterday. Yeah. And the woman behind the counter was like, well, that's a weird last name. That's a strange spelling. And I was like, yeah, I know. Unless you're German. In that case, it's just Chew. Yeah. And she was like, oh, I lived in Germany for 3 years and I've never seen that spelling. So I don't think it is. She was so confident in that it made me second guess something I've known about my own last name for my entire life. I had to Google it. I was like,
she told you were wrong. That's the best.
Yeah. About my own last name.
She's like, look, sir, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. I've thought about this for 5 seconds and you're wrong. That's clearly rich. I like that. Yeah.
Clearly. Yeah. So anyway, Rob Schuh is the YouTube channel. It's got mailbags. It's got comedy stuff. It's good. So go in, subscribe, new content coming.
It is good. It's got acting that's much better than what I did earlier today. You see Rob is good. I sprung this on him before, like an hour before, because I knew he could handle it. He did a great job.
Yeah. Well, and better than what you saw there of Kyle, I'll say, because that's live and these are
that's true,
pre-recorded. So yeah, go there, subscribe. And when you submit mailbag questions like this one, the best one comes on the show with Grant and I. We answer it together. So
that's right.
This one comes from Ben Camperman, someone that you know, the Camper Report.
Yeah. So I wanted to show yesterday. He was terrific. About 45 minutes. Subscribe to Benjamin Camperman.
Ben's great. Yep. Love that guy. Yep. I was nowhere near that productive at his age. I don't know what I was doing back then, but it certainly wasn't making YouTube channels, talking Niners.
There was no YouTube back then. Let's be clear.
No, there was not.
There was not.
Let's not age me, Grant, because that'll take us back.
I came out my senior year of high school.
That's right. So he asked an interesting question that I hadn't really thought about, but do you think that the Niners will try trading picks instead of Jimmy for a cornerback from New England? And if so, who do you think they want more, Stephon Gilmore or J.C. Jackson? Would you care to answer first?
I love Benjamin. What picks? They don't got no picks. Yeah, of course they would prefer to trade players. I'm thinking the Niners are actually trying to figure out how to get some picks back, and that's probably why they're hanging on to Jimmy Garoppolo, because they're like, look, we have no picks. We gave up one to get him. He was worth something a couple of years ago. Maybe if we wish upon a star, we'll get something for him. I think they're looking to get picks, not give picks. So player for player. And I don't know if New England would want player for player, but maybe they would. You don't know. You could do it.
It's a good question. So I'm with you. No, I don't think the 49ers would give up any more picks at this point. I think if they weren't willing to give up those 2 picks for Julio Jones, which Kyle clearly loves and would have wanted on his team, I don't think that they're going to give up picks to bring in a defensive player that Kyle can't use within his offense. I don't think that that's going to happen. But I do think, to your point, that they might trade Jimmy to the Pats for either of those players. They might be happy to do it. And I actually Googled that and came back with a Patriots beat writer who, I don't know if he's got any insight into it, but suggested a trade with J.C. Jackson, in which the 49ers would trade Jimmy, get back J.C. Jackson, who is on a second-round tender, so he's only making $3.38 million. We would send out a significant chunk of change in sending Jimmy out, right? That would get rid of all but 1-point-something million in dead cap money. And he suggested that we would get a third-rounder back from New England in said trade. Now, I think that might be a little generous at this point in time. I think the 49ers would entertain that. And if it were a second-rounder, I think they would do it, no questions asked. They might even do it if it were just J.C. Jackson and a third-rounder. But the question in my mind, and the one I want to pose to you is, do the Patriots really even want Jimmy anymore?
I think they do. I think they do. I think they like him very much. I don't think they're that wedded to Cam at all. And the fact that they have Mac Jones, they didn't trade up for Mac Jones. He could have been the best player available. But just listening to Bill Belichick talk about Jimmy last year, I think he really likes Jimmy. I think he feels that that's a guy he developed and should still have. I don't know. I don't think he's going to give up much for him because I don't think he wants to lose the deal. But if the Niners were to cut him, I think he would sign with New England.
That makes sense to me. If they were trying to acquire Jimmy and they're not super attached to Cam, and it sounds as if, even if it's a smokescreen, that at least the information coming out right now is Mac Jones is not ready to start at this point. Do you think that maybe a deal that could get done that both parties might be interested in would be involving a Cam and Jimmy swap with JC
I don't think
Jackson?
the Niners would want Cam because I think Cam wants to play. I think Cam wants to compete. He wants an opportunity. I don't think Cam's ready to just be a backup and help mentor Trey Lance. I think that's one of the things I like about Cam. He has a massive chip on his shoulder, unlike
he does
Jimmy. He has something to prove. So I don't know that's a good fit on the 49ers.
I wondered if
he should go to Denver, honestly, and go over there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That would be a good fit. I wondered if just the playing style for Cam would be a good mentorship for Trey. But
I just don't see him as a mentor at this point. He could be down the line, but he has something he wants to prove. God love him, man. God love him. He would come in here and compete, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't think you need that with Trey, man. You need everything, all the resources going into Trey, making sure Trey's ready.
Last part of the question is which of the two do you think they'd prefer? All things being equal, clearly, I think with salary, Gilmore's $16.2 million. And like I said, JC Jackson's on that second round tender, which is $3.38 million. So I think salary wise, they'd want JC Jackson, but talent wise, which do you think might be a better fit on the team?
Give me the younger guy.
Yeah.
Give me the DB who's in his mid-20s. Yeah.
And came off 9 interceptions last year.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And it seems to me like what happens is if people are afraid to throw at Gilmore and they're throwing it at JC Jackson, he can produce like that. Well, similar effect could happen on the Niners next to Jason Verrett.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think either happens. Both will be free agents next year, so they would be 1-year rentals if the Niners got them. I think the 49ers will probably just wait and pursue one of the two in free agency next year.